Hello, America, FBI and CIA agents, and fellow cult members. Welcome to Culture Club USA. I'm Dubrava, and today's riddle is, does man own the rights to redemption or just the grace of the redeemed? Is redemption par for the course or par for climbing the scheme? But is scheme part of the redemption, or does it just come from between? Or just a fool's intervention of foolish hopes and dreams? Okay, in today's episode of OnlyFans on Trial, Andrew hashes it out with a newly minted OnlyFans tradcon as she schools the panel on the virtues of her transformation. Let's get into it.
Bree,
Yeah.
What's the story here? You used to do OnlyFans. What happened?
Okay, do you really want the whole story? Do I summarize it real quick? Because it's like a lot.
What do you mean a lot?
Okay, basically I was doing OnlyFans. I did OnlyFans since I was 18, and then it's kind of all I knew. And then I quit for a while, and then I came back to OnlyFans beginning of this year, like February. And when I started again, the money wasn't the same. So I was like, well, this isn't going to work. I need to make more money. And once you get addicted to fast money, it's like you have to keep making fast money. Mm-hmm. So I got into dancing. And when I got into dancing, I was drinking every day, partying every day, doing crazy stuff. And
Now, this girl, Bree, okay, from the Bunny Ranch, all kinds. This girl's been around the world and back 3 times, okay? From the stripper pole to OnlyFans Bible studies to la. She called herself the Virgin OnlyFans Bible Reader. I know you guys remember. Now, this is going to be good. Because what is she saying? She quit? She's born again? Nala 3? This is going to be interesting.
every day, doing crazy stuff. And
What kind of crazy stuff?
like, can I say that?
You were taking substances.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, it just wasn't me, but I thought I was happy. I thought it was okay. And it just got deeper and deeper until I hit rock bottom. And then the Holy Spirit came to me and saved my life.
Getting baptized November 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Oh my God. I can't believe this. Okay, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt here, okay? Because you know what? If she is really reformed, I'm just going to give it to her. Because you know what? A prostitute like this, from the Bunny Ranch to OnlyFans, corn, to like done everything under the sun, drugs, this and that. I mean, this girl was a mess. So if she actually has reformed herself, I'm going to sing her praises. Hallelujah! But she better have reformed herself.
Okay, next. And is this you just reading the Bible? Okay. All right, next. And then make it bigger, please. All right, play the video. And then this is you on the 3rd, right? Getting baptized?
Yeah.
Okay.
And do you want to watch the whole thing?
Is he just like yelling at you?
No,
I'm just kidding.
he's praying over me.
Yeah.
He was telling me that no matter what happened in the past, that God still loved me. And that's why I was crying. Mm-hmm. And then he baptized me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Is this a real church or is this like a set on OnlyFans at the Bunny Ranch? Just make sure this is a real church. She actually went and got baptized. Okay, maybe she's reformed. And maybe, okay, because I'm like, okay, if you're reformed, it's kind of like Nala. You're reformed, but you're running around from podcast to podcast talking about what? I mean, so you're running around still. You still got Instagram. You still got all these things. Are you pushing the right message? Like, what is she going to actually do and say here? Let's see.
Yeah.
all right. So you're done with, like done. Like you deleted your OF.
My OnlyFans are both gone. The free one and the paid one.
Free and the paid. Okay.
They're both gone.
All right.
And all my pictures on my Instagram are gone.
Yep, we noticed that.
Yeah.
And then I did want to ask you about this. So last time on the show, I mean, You were on the show 2 times previously, right?
Like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. You said there's a lot of lying, which is part of the OnlyFans thing, right? You just lie about shit for like clips or whatever. What's the scope of the lying?
What do you mean?
Okay, you said you were a virgin.
Okay.
I told you. She was the virgin OnlyFans Bible study girl. She reads the Bible to her fans, Myron. It was hysterical. Okay, he's calling her out. Let's see where this goes.
Virgin.
Okay.
Not a virgin.
No.
Okay. Are you born again virgin now, though?
I guess, since my past life is dead. That's what baptism is.
And what kind of content were you making? Was it boy-girl content?
No, it was just solo.
Wait, never BG?
I mean, I think twice I may have posted BG, but it was never on it since I started again this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the point of this baptism, from your perspective, was to show your devotion to Jesus Christ.
Yes,
right?
I've devoted my life to him now. Like, I left alcohol.
And how long ago was that?
Okay, it's about to have been 2-3 weeks, 2.5.
3 weeks.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It hasn't even been 3 weeks and you're already on the whatever podcast. Oh, let me guess. You're still living at the Bunny Ranch too? I'm just curious. Oh, this is going to be good. Oh, I can see where Andrew's going to take this.
3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've been walking the tightrope, narrow Christian path for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when all of this,
Hold on. That's all it takes to get baptized these days? Like don't you have to kind of like prove yourself and then get baptized? No, you just get baptized? See, at Catholic Church, you just get baptized when you're a kid, but I didn't know because I was baptized like weeks after I was born. So I'm just curious about that. Did she make her confirmation too? Her Holy Communion? I wonder what kind of Christian she is. Okay, let's see.
so when all of this stuff, now this was your rebaptism, right?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So you've made a commitment then that you're going to come clean about basically all of these things, or what's going on with this?
Yeah. So I have left alcohol. I've left any other substances. I've left everything. What is going on? Okay, I've left alcohol. I've left secular music. Like, I used to love Future Lil Baby. I left listening to rap music, secular music. I try to be modest now. I threw away all my non-modest clothing. And the most important one is no...
Hold on here. You throw away all your non-modest clothing. Girl, what kind of top is that? I mean, I wouldn't be showing up to Sunday Mass wearing that. My father would slap me. I'm just saying. Okay, well, maybe that's what she thinks is modest. I mean, when you go from like practically naked, when you walk in a room with a thong on, yeah, that I guess I'll give her that. That to her, that's modest. All right, I'll let her slide.
Left secular music. Like, I used to love Future Lil Baby. I left listening to rap music, secular music. I try to be modest now. I threw away all my non-modest clothing. And the most important one is no sex until marriage. I'm not having
You think
sex.
you're wearing modest clothing right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Andrew, great minds think alike. I mean, all right, he said it now. Okay, I was going to let her get away with it, but he said it. Okay, I'm not saying anymore, but he said it. And now she's not having sex until marriage. Okay, but you already been having sex. You've been doing it. I mean, anyway, I'm not even going down that diatribe.
oh, okay.
I mean, this is pretty modest. It's a dress down to my ankles, and I'm wearing a shawl over my shoulders. I think it's pretty modest.
Well, what do you think the purpose of modesty is?
I was dressing. So I looked at before how I was dressing before I got baptized, before the whole thing happened. And I realized I wasn't dressing just because I was dressing based on how much attention and validation I would get. Like, are guys going to pay me more money, basically? Like, am I going to make more money? Am I going to get more attention? Am I going to get more validation? My value was based on how much attention I was getting from guys. Now that the whole thing happened, it's like, I don't want that attention from guys. I don't want, my value isn't based on how many guys are looking at me. It's based on just me and my relationship with God. Like, I'm not dressing anymore for the eyes of men. I'm dressing for God.
Let me ask you a question. I noticed that you're wearing a cross necklace.
Yeah.
Were you wearing cross jewelry before your baptism?
I had this bracelet, but I mean, wearing cross jewelry doesn't really mean anything unless you are like you could wear a cross necklace and still do, or a cross bracelet and still do bad things. Like,
No, you're not really supposed to. Okay, see, this is, all right, here we go. Here comes the Nala in her. And by the way, I'm sure a lot of men would like to be Jesus on that cross. Okay? I mean, I don't know what she's talking about with this modest dressing, but I'm just saying.
necklace and still do, or a cross bracelet and still do bad things. Like,
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just
Yeah.
curious if you were wearing the same type of jewelry before your baptism.
no, this cross necklace I got after my baptism, but the bracelet I had before.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Try to think of this from the other angle.
Yeah.
Would you agree with me that there are a lot of women who are former prostitutes in some regard or another, and it has become somewhat trendy inside of our culture for these former prostitutes to move over and say that they're now devoted Christians, and the purpose of this is to make a brand new brand of content with a kind of a brand new brand for audiences, right? Rather than an actual movement over to the ethical Christian faith. Would you agree that that's an actual trend which has been going on?
I don't know if that's true because I lost a lot of followers after I deleted all my
I'm not
posts.
talking about you specifically. I'm just asking if you've noticed that there's this trend that's happening.
I think whether or not they're doing it for whatever reason, if they truly accept Jesus Christ as their savior, that's a win, because the more people that believe in Christ, that's good. Like, if they,
Yeah, I mean,
Can I say
unless
something? Can I
Yeah.
say something really quick? I think with anything
Hang on,
involving...
almost over the exchange, and then we'll let you jump in. Okay.
Sure.
So I just want to finish the exchange up, and so but do you agree with me that such a trend exists, that there's a lot of women who do move over to Christian ethics from being a former prostitute for the purposes of essentially what they call grifting, right? Which is now they're selling Jesus merchandise and this and that, and
selling
it's,
Jesus merchandise is actually not like accepted. Like, that is actually against the Bible.
Yeah, I know. So you would agree that that's kind of grifty, right?
I've never seen a girl turn over from OnlyFans or whatever she was doing and sell Jesus merchandise.
Yeah, you ever heard of a woman named Dalla Ray?
She's selling.
She sure did. But in any case, that aside, I guess what I'm getting at here ultimately is that if you were essentially lying for the purposes of gathering money, gathering clout, and this type of thing, and then we assume perhaps there was a backfire, you were caught in some sort of lies and this and that, why should we then assume that just, after devoting your life to Christ for a whopping 3 weeks, that you're not lying now? Why should that be the assumption now? If you were lying about everything before, why should we assume you're not lying about everything now?
I mean, I don't care if you think I'm lying. Like, I don't even know you. I'm doing this for
Yeah.
God. I'm not doing this
Yeah,
for
no,
Andrew.
Can you repeat?
You're on the Whatever podcast for God? You're on the Whatever podcast for God? I don't know how I think about that. I got to think about that. I really do.
Doing this for Andrew.
Can you repeat back?
Like,
Can you repeat?
I don't know you. Why would I?
No, can you repeat back the question that I asked you?
Yeah, you
Just so I
said
know that you're-
how do we know you're not lying now? Well, if you were in my life, but you're not because we don't know each other. If you were in my life, you know I threw all my non-modest clothing away. I drove from LA to Atlanta back home to my family for 5 days straight, crying, listening to Christian music, listening to gospel, listening to scripture. I did all of that. I drove 5 days. I left my apartment here. I left all my stuff here. I just left and drove for 5 days straight. I threw away everything. I stopped drinking alcohol, but you don't know me. So how would you see that? So
Yeah, right.
Somebody preparing for a movie role would do the same thing. Just saying. What does that mean? That. Oh boy, this is going to get ugly. This is going to get ugly. So you drove for 5 days to your parents and left your apartment. You didn't sell it or get rid of your things. You didn't move permanently from, Vegas or Nevada. No, you left and went on a vacation and you drove for 5 days listening to Christian music, crying. So this makes you a born again, Christian. Okay.
know me. So how would you see that? So
Yeah, right. So this is the question, right? So imagine the shoe on the other foot. Think about it from the outsider's view. Somebody come over to them and said, listen, everything you've ever heard out of me before today was a complete lie. Mm-hmm. But from here on out, I'm only going to tell you the truth. Would you believe them?
I don't know, because that's.
Yeah, probably.
I believe people. I
probably
believe
not,
people
right?
can change.
Like-
No, I believe people can change, and also I'm not again doing this for the outsider's perspective.
people
I'm not.
can- I
I'm not doing
understand
this
people
for
can change.
nobody else. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for God. I'm doing this because I want to love God. I want to devote my life to God. That's it. I'm not doing this for acceptance. I'm not doing this for nice messages. I'm not doing this for you or him or her or nobody. I'm doing this for me.
Amen.
Okay, that doesn't make sense. Because remember what I just said? I don't know if I believe her. And I said, you're on the whatever podcast. So here's the thing. She hasn't once said, I'm doing this to be an example for other young girls. I'm going around to schools and churches and telling young girls or halfway houses or whatever, telling girls that may end up in the situation I ended up, that it's not worth it. Don't do it. It's terrible. This is why. I mean, I don't quite get what's going on. So you drove for 5 days listening to Christian music, crying, and went to your parents' house for a vacation to say hello. We're supposed to believe this? I mean, and your breasts are totally out with a Jesus cross on it. Like I said, any man on earth would want to be Jesus on that cross. Okay? I'm just saying.
Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's faith is individualized.
Yeah,
to, like,
exactly.
themselves.
Final point from Andrew, and then I'm moving things along. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, I would just like to very quickly, just to show of hands at the table. If somebody told you that everything you've ever heard from them just up until the last 2 weeks had been a lie, but now they're going to start telling the truth all the time, would you believe them? Show of hands if you would believe them.
If you would or wouldn't?
Would.
I'm going to pray for them and hope that they get there. I don't think it's about a left or right thing. It's not if you believe them or not. You want them, as a Christian or a Catholic person and loving God, you want them to do better. So it's not about lying or truthfulness. It's about seeing.
Okay, yeah, no. Okay, this is how we get in these situations where, like, Amber Rose miraculously shows up to the, Republican convention and is talking about how she's for Trump and Jesus and all this stuff. No, you were just doing a slut walk. I mean, I don't get, like, you have to prove it. This girl has literally been a Christian for 3 weeks. 4 weeks ago, she was naked on OnlyFans reading the Bible for a fee. Come on. This girl is just not being realistic, okay? Because reality is that no. The answer is no. You would not believe them. It would take them to prove over time for you to really actually believe them. You can lie and fake it and go, oh, I believe you, honey. Oh, yeah. Oh, welcome to the Church of OnlyFans, Reformed Bible readers. I mean, come on.
Point out that none of you raised your hand. I just want to point that out.
I think if I saw everything that she did, I would believe her.
Raise their hand.
Just two? Okay.
Okay.
Like I said, if they saw everything that I did, then you would maybe think, okay, maybe this is for real. Who's going to go in front of a church and in front of however many 100 people to get baptized?
And film it. Don't forget that. And film it. See, this is where it goes wrong for me. It's like Nala, okay? You went to get baptized. Was it really about God, or was it about the small camera crew that you brought with you to film it so that you can come on the whatever podcast and show everyone that you are now a reformed prostitute and you're a Christian? Something just doesn't add up here.
Baptized just because I want to start selling Jesus merch, and which selling Jesus merch, whoever's doing that is actually against the Bible. So if you're doing that, please stop. But yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Didn't somebody have to make that cross and sell it that you're wearing?
But if you are going on your Instagram and you are just selling, actually, Christ burned down a church for that because of that.
Didn't you buy the cross you're currently wearing around your neck?
Yeah. Okay, I guess whoever made this cross is messed up.
Like
somebody who made this cross is, well, they didn't say nothing about buying it, but Jesus burned down the church.
Is it just only okay to sell crosses if you're like Target, or can people make them? Or like, what are the rules for this?
If you're doing it for money, if you're showing your love to God and all that,
I'm pretty sure Target's doing it for money. I'm pretty confident that
like if you're doing it strictly because you want to make more money and your OnlyFans ran out, like that is.
I got it. I know what she's doing here. I know. I'm so good. Okay. What is going on here? I'll tell you exactly what's going on here. What's going on here is that she is dressed like this, a little sexy, a little conservative. And how many people watch whatever? How many people? Millions, right? So She's looking for a husband. Because her OnlyFans is like, people are done. You've been on my, look, the corn industry, I watched a really interesting documentary on this. It's like these girls are in and out. In and out. That's why they have to constantly go on the whatever podcast. She just said she was on the whatever podcast 2 or 3 times before this. She's been on Myron multiple times. God knows where else she's been. Why? To gain more subscribers, because people get bored and they move on to the girl next to you. You understand? It's too predictable and they need another shock, so they find somebody else. So what she's doing right now is she needs money. She needs a husband. And the only skill she has is sex. So if she's saying, hey, I have a lot of skills in sex, I'll please you in that arena. Just marry me, take care of me, give me my allowance, and we'll be good. This is her retirement plan. That's what she's doing here. She's looking for her retirement plan.
Like, that is bad.
You said chivalry is dead.
Because of men speaking the way that you guys are.
Like how I'm speaking?
There's a couple things you said that I'm not going to remember. But chivalry is dead just because I think of how we're trying to think about our modern dating. Like, however this abortion conversation went was completely left field for me in my head. Like, this whole abortion thing was not because girls are having sex. This abortion thing was because we are not supposed to be having sex. Or abortion is not supposed to be used as birth control.
Okay. Well,
I'm thinking about the baby, not like just sex wise. Did I make sense? Was that rambling?
Yeah, but how? I know it doesn't make any sense.
Sorry.
Why would you need to use birth control if you're not having sex?
Well, the fact of the matter is, anyone making a baby is having sex, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're having sex, right, and you're worried about having a baby, right, you should be on birth control so that way you don't have to abort it.
Yeah, but if you're not having sex, you don't have to worry about having babies, right?
Correct. Yeah.
No, you're not supposed to be on birth control. Okay, birth control shouldn't exist for a multitude of reasons. Okay, first of all, if you're Christian, birth control, you're not. I don't believe in birth control. Okay, birth control is don't have sex. That's what that is. I mean, what is she talking about? So have birth control so that you don't have to abort a baby? My God, these girls get dumber by the day.
Say that that's factual.
So the idea here is that, got it. So then the idea here then is that if women aren't having sex, they're not going to be having babies that they need to abort.
Well, the idea here is that women, we're not nuns. We're going to be having sex. For you to find a husband, for you to want children, you have to have sex for that.
Why do you have to have sex to find?
Why do you have to have sex to find a husband? I'm not saying people don't have sex before they find their husband, but you don't have to have sex to find a husband. Okay, there's a lot of guys out here looking for virgins, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You have to have sex to find a husband?
No.
I think that's just an unrealistic thing to say.
What? Why is that unrealistic to say?
The only reason why you get a husband is to have sex with him. That's the only person that you could do that with.
But you don't have to, give away the milk before the cow's bought. What is she? She makes no sense.
I think it's to find a partner.
There's many. Like, to choose for the rest of your life. The only other thing is
I think for years it was the norm. Like
you can
in the
that.
Bible, the whole Bible is like they waited, and up till now, like up till like 20 years ago, it was not normal to have sex outside of marriage.
Well, I wasn't negating that. I believe that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I'm just saying, like for me, my husband that I pick, because I could pick a best friend, I could pick a business partner, I could pick somebody else. The only person in that space that I'm going to be fucking, sorry, that was bad.
Okay, go ahead.
That I'm going to be having sex with is my husband. So I'm going to take that highly into consideration compared to but a best friend, I could have one of those.
So you should have it all. Like,
See, this is an example of somebody that just is pretty, just is good, looks good. She thinks that she could just find a husband. Like guys that's only going to take you so far. It might get you in bed with them, but if you can't have a conversation and engage, you know what I mean? If you're like rough around the edges like this with this language, like guys really at heart, I don't think they want that. I really don't.
You're right.
So hold on. So let's explore this though. You said chivalry is dead.
Yeah, okay. I think so.
So what is chivalry?
To me, I think it's somebody, or whether it's a male or female, doing the best that they can to put both of us in the best position that we can. With respect.
What does that mean?
What the heck is that? Chivalry is, being respectful, opening the door, being respectful. You understand? Taking you out, taking care of dinner, planning things. What is chivalry is what? What is she talking about?
What does that mean?
to put me in a better spot.
Doesn't chivalry have to do with traditional gender roles as it relates to men's treatment?
So chivalry, going back to the domestic violence, would be me.
What does chivalry have to do with going back to domestic violence? Oh my God, these colleges are literally destroying these girls. I mean, seriously.
Going back to the domestic violence would be me picking somebody who leads me enough to where we're not getting worse hurt.
If you smack him, he doesn't smack you back? That was your argument.
No, my argument was if I hit somebody, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
Well, I'll tell
The chivalrous thing to do would be to step back.
To
is what
not.
she was saying.
Oh, yes, the chivalrous thing. Thank you.
Yeah, but hold on. Wait. Hold on. Does a lady ever strike a man?
No,
Right. So who's deserving of chivalry?
everybody.
No.
No, ladies, you're onto something, Brian. I'm going to give you this one.
Everybody.
No. No. Hold on. Chivalry is from men to women. Women are not chivalrous to men. It's a unidirectional. It's one directional. So, and typically, who's going to be chivalrous? A gentleman, right?
I think it goes both
Okay.
ways.
Is a woman who is not a lady deserving of chivalry?
Is a woman.
So you would agree?
Not ladylike.
Okay. So
That proves my
Brian, slow
point.
down,
That proves my
slow down,
point.
slow down.
That proves my point. It goes back and forth. For a man to be chivalrous to a woman has to act correctly. Correct. I agree.
She doesn't know what chivalry means. Oh my God.
right. So a woman who is not acting like a lady is not deserving of chivalry.
I think we all are deserving. I think it's up to the. I don't. You're right. I'll give you that one for right now. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Well, okay,
If she's
so-
not acting right, yeah, she doesn't
So
deserve it.
is a man who is not a gentleman? He's not chivalrous. Is he deserving of a lady? Does he deserve to date a lady?
No.
No.
Okay.
Not if he's not acting right. If you're not acting
Right.
right, you don't deserve a good woman.
Right. So in no scenario, because you're saying, well, there should be chivalrous treatment towards the woman, but you've precluded yourself from being treated as a lady by striking him.
I've seen great guys who are real gentlemen who could see a girl act like a ratchet bitch and they would still treat her with the same respect as a
sure.
normal woman.
That's called a simp.
As a normal woman.
Well,
Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm almost done. So I'll even grant to you that absolutely a woman could be ratchet. She could be a degenerate sex worker. She could be the least ladylike possible. And there's plenty of men who are in my opinion, have absolutely no boundaries, no standards, who are simps, who will still, despite her unladylike conduct, will still, because they're pathetic or simps or desperate for pussy, whatever it is.
I agree.
Who are doormats who just get walked all over, who will still give that kind of treatment to those kinds of women.
Correct. Yeah.
It happens all the time. I don't disagree with you at all. My argument here, though, is that those women don't deserve it. They might get that treatment, but they don't deserve it.
I see where you're coming from. I definitely see where you're coming from. I just think that sometimes people just need to see it. You know, that girl that's acting like a ratchet, you know, she hasn't seen it yet. So the first guy who shows her how a real man acts, he just gave her
So Captain
like
Save-O,
he just gave her that.
He's got to come.
She was saving a hoe with her man. She was paying for
You
his bills.
just called her a hoe?
No,
Are you gonna let her? Are you gonna let her?
God, this girl has such masculine energy. It's like when you look at her from far away at a far glance, she appears to be something she's not. She's like a rear view mirror. God.
No,
Are you gonna let
I
her?
was
Are you gonna let her fall?
I wasn't
No.
talking
You
about
literally
her.
just called her a hoe.
That's what I said.
No,
I was
she
saving
called
a
the
hoe.
man. She called the man the hoe.
Yeah.
Wait,
She
the
was
man-
Captain Save a
Oh, she was
hoe.
Captain Save a hoe.
Yeah, she was.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
So
Yeah, she was.
So
called the man.
you're
Well,
saying
let
her
me-
man was a hoe?
yeah.
Well, he
Did you
kinda
hear
was.
what he
He
said?
kinda
Did you
was.
hear her story?
He was a hoe.
He kind of was, but
He was a hoe.
So yeah, he was a hoe. So over to this, I would like to ask you a question though. Do you think that men were much more chivalrous in the 1800s and early 1900s, like 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s? Do you think they were more chivalrous or less chivalrous?
I mean, it depends because, like, I know that they were raping women.
Whoa! Hang on, let's not use the R word.
Use,
Oh, I'm sorry, but you know what I meant. Like, they were
Just
more.
use I understand. Just use SA. It doesn't offend me. It's just for the purpose of the platform.
I apologize.
Yeah, it's not a problem. But do you think that they were more or less chivalrous?
Anybody else want to answer this question?
That was
Does anybody else want to answer this question? She has no clue what this conversation's about. You do realize that, right? She doesn't know what chivalry is. Of course they were more chivalrous. We were in different times. Modern society didn't exist. They weren't, watching corn and with televisions or what. It was a whole different era. It was expected for men to be chivalrous to women because women weren't giving away the milk for free. Get it? Get it?
I'm asking you.
I can answer it. I think it depends. It's a black and white thing. It's a black and white thing. Yes, I do think that they were more.
If
They were
it's black and
more.
white, then it doesn't depend.
No, I didn't mean it like that. You guys keep on twisting my shit.
Don't be racist. There's Asian people too.
Okay.
And Native Americans.
Yeah, that's not what I meant.
One second.
That's
One
not what I
second.
meant.
Sorry.
I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just trying to talk to you. So
No, I'm not
when
worried
you
about
say when you say something is black or white, then that means is or isn't. So it
Yeah.
wouldn't be black or white. You would say it's nuanced, right? You'd say
It's like
nuanced.
it's a fine line. Like in the 1800s, they were picking you up on horses. They weren't like,
Horses.
yeah, the 1800s. They didn't have cars. They had horses.
Well, do you think that we had peak chivalry then in the age of chivalry, like the medieval age?
I don't think so.
I mean, that's where.
Well, then when did we have?
They
all
were
this
crazy
chivalry?
back in the day. They were.
That was the age of chivalry. That's where chivalry came from.
where the term came from.
And like it came from knights with lances who were, here's my token, my lady, right? That's chivalry, right?
Right, like think of
they lived by the chivalric code. It was an actual code of conduct. So we had the most amount of chivalry then, right?
Have you ever watched Troy? You know Troy?
Oh, God. And now, have you ever watched Troy? Like, you can't answer the conversation. You're not sure what you're talking about. Like, where's she going to go with this?
You know Troy?
Yeah, but that's
like my favorite movie in the whole world. So
yeah, sure, Troy's great, but that's way before chivalry.
we agreed on something, Troy.
Yeah, but that's way before chivalry. You're talking about a Greek epic, right? It's like that's way before. But chivalry would be like let's say like 1100 to like I don't know, like 1500, give or take, right? Something in there. That's when they were riding their horses and there were knights and they would be like, my lady, I'll slay the dragon for you type of thing, right?
I'll pick a yes or no. I definitely want one of those compared to these.
Yeah, right.
Well, honey, you're not getting one. That's not happening. You're not getting one, no.
Yeah, right. But do you think in those eras that men were more or less likely to slap a woman to correct her?
Oh yeah, I know that.
So in the age of peak chivalry, they were more likely to slap women to correct them.
It's good. It's a good
In the
combo.
age of chivalry, they were more likely to slap women to correct them. But you think that it's the most chivalric thing to do to not slap women to correct
It
them.
depends on your rank.
Whoa, that was a W. That was a fucking W.
It was not.
That was a
It depended on your
that was a
rank. It
checkmate.
depended on your rank. They weren't getting smacked up. They weren't getting hit if they were in a high rank. If you were in a low rank, like duchesses and stuff like that. There's rank. There was rankings. Or if you were in a court, if you were in a court,
like your social status at the time.
Yeah,
you guys never watched Rain?
Like a madame.
You think that kings? I'm sorry. You think that kings didn't slap queens?
Is she nuts? Oh my God. This conversation is above all their heads. Okay, even Brian's.
No, they're queens.
Nah,
Of course
sure
they
they got
did.
slapped.
They smacked them. They would literally correct them in front of the court. They would
These
take
are just different
aides to their
times
back.
too, though.
Andrew, I got the perfect
That's why women didn't behave the way you girls do today, because they didn't want to get smacked from their husbands, their kings, the knights, whatever. Okay? There were repercussions to acting like trash back then. You understand? Women were getting stoned, for God's sake, for doing said things. Are you kidding me? You're talking about they weren't slapping them? They were getting more slapped around more than ever. Think about it. That's why these women are like, the Handmaid's Tale is coming, because you don't want that. Are you kidding? If we were in a time of chivalry, women would never be able to act or behave this way. They'd be stoned to death.
example.
We learned already.
King Henry VIII. This motherfucker killed six. Wait, no, sorry, hold on. It was divorced. Wait, what was the order? Divorced,
Okay, listen.
killed.
I just want to let you know, queens had to bow to their kings,
Divorced.
and if queens needed correction, kings could smack them. Princes with princesses, same things. They could smack them. If you had knights, and the knights had women of noble stock who were in their homes, who were out of line, they actually had what was called dominion over the wife. The wife, the reason you take the last name is because of English common law that is giving you as an extension. The father is giving you the woman.
You guys sound like you're getting hit a lot.
Hang on, I'm just explaining this. It's giving the woman to the man, and now you have the man's last name. You're now part of his house. You became part of his property. Do you think it was more or less likely in those times for a man to be like, "Oh, you're out of line"? Which one? In the most chivalric time ever.
I think the term was like coined then, but I don't think that it's necessarily how like it's more chivalrous now, but it was just a term that was coined then.
Really quick.
It's more chivalrous now?
Is she crazy? Did she just say it's more chivalrous now? There's no reason for men to be chivalrous because all you girls are trash. I mean, really.
Men are more chivalrous?
I got to pull this up.
What the hell do we need feminism for? If we have maximum chivalry, what do we need feminism for?
There was no Captain Save-A-Hose back in the day. At least they gave you a house and like
Because there weren't as many hoes.
Pass it right back
They didn't give it to you. You were part of their property.
Wait, one second. I got to pull this up. Okay, so King Henry VIII, look at this fucking Giga Chad. So he lived 1491 to 1547. And so he had 6 different wives, 6 different queens, divorced the first one, beheaded the second, the third one died, divorced the fourth, beheaded the fifth, and then the 6th, she survived. He beheaded 2 of his wives, not just smacked around, beheaded, son. Beheaded?
Yeah, and he could.
Beheaded. Anne Boleyn. Whoosh, beheaded.
By the way, Ryan, now pull up the date for the chivalric code.
Chivalric code. That's chivalric code.
no, man.
Yeah.
By the way, pull up the article really quick though. Pull up the article scroll down, go to marriages.
This is a whole different time period.
Ryan, move on. Pull up the chivalric code. We don't care.
I don't think a whole different time period.
Click marriages. Okay, damn. Fucking Catherine, fucking babe. Scroll down. Keep going. Let's see the other ladies. Boom. Anne Boleyn. Babe status.
Brian is literally looking at cartoons and calling them babe status. Like, Brian, you need a spanking.
He beheaded her though. Jane Seymour. She died. Sad. Very sad. Next. Anne of Cleves divorced her because apparently his advice.
Okay, Brian. Okay, look. Brian, we don't want you doing this work. This is for Andrew, okay? We don't need you assessing any of this stuff. This is history, and it's serious history, and it is for Andrew only, okay? Stay off of Wikipedia dissecting the wives of any king. We don't want to hear it from you.
Oh, strumpet shit. Beheaded. Allegedly. Well, the beheading wasn't alleged. The strumpeting was alleged. And then finally, she got beheaded though.
She was 17? I mean, most of them were.
Yeah.
Like, you get married at like 13.
And the king's like,
Why was everyone like ugly in the 40s? Scroll down.
I gotta read. Just real quick.
Go ahead.
You can find this in this fine book called Occult Feminism. There's a chapter here on chivalry. This will be very quick. I promise I won't waste very much time. Here's the code of chivalry. Thou shalt believe all that the church teaches, and thou shalt observe all its directions. Thou shalt defend the church. Thou shalt respect all weakness, and thou shalt constitute thyself as a defender of them. Thou shalt love the country in which thou was born. Thou shalt not recoil before thine enemy. Thou shalt make war against the infidel without concession and without mercy. Thou shalt perform scrupulous thy feudal duties, and they be not contrary to the laws of God. Thou shalt never lie. Thou shalt remain faithful to thy pledged word. Thou shalt be generous. Thou shalt be everywhere, and always be the champion of the right and good against injustice and evil. Did you see anything? That all sounds great. That all sounds fantastic. And those guys, I want to ask you this question. Do you think that those men at that time period were more or less likely to correct their woman with a smack? More. Totally. Way more likely to correct them with a smack. So
somebody with a brain. Thank you.
Were children getting it back in the day?
If you really want chivalry, and you really want the man who defends a code like that, then a man who defends a code like that is going to defend it for a woman who is an extension of him, who becomes one flesh with him. That's the only way that you're ever going to get chivalry back, because as famously is stated, chivalry is dead and women killed it.
Yeah, but I don't think we use the term like that nowadays. You know what I mean? It's like not necessarily how we use that term anymore. It's like the idea.
The idea of what?
Of just that men should just be gentlemen. That's
it's the romanticized idea of be nice.
Yeah.
And this is the Disney princess idea that if you're in a coma, the handsome prince will come and kiss you and you'll wake up. All the women's minds and modernity have been Disneyfied. All women's or female virtues, so all of those that I just read, those were virtues expected of men, and actual virtues expected of men that they had to adhere to. Women also had a specific code of virtues they had to adhere to, and all of that has been abandoned for a single modern virtue for women called be nice. That is the modern, single overriding virtue of all things for modern women is be nice. It has overridden all feminine virtues, and that's why they don't get chivalry. Because men don't give a shit about being nice. It makes no sense. It's silly. Right? Like you saw in the code, for instance, it said to mercilessly hunt down the infidel and take them out on behalf of your nation. That's not very nice, right? It's not very nice. They weren't particularly nice when they were going into battlefields with claymores and cutting people in half. Not very nice. Just saying the virtues that they were striving towards, very different than virtues in modernity.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Oh my gosh, Brian, I don't know what it is. I just can't take it when you try to play Andrew. Leave the Andrewing to Andrew. Well, do you think that chivalry will ever be back in style? I don't know. It might be, because with all these OnlyFans Bible reading nalas, you never know what's ahead. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll have to wait and see if Bree actually is a born-again woman. I'm Dubrava. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.